Welcome, everyone, to the D2G podcast. This is your host, Choppa, and here I have with me, once again, third week in a row, to my left, Joey.
How's it going, everyone?
And once again, to my other left, Adrian.
Hello.
This week's topics, we're kind of getting into some remastered remakes. What makes these games kind of worth it for people, and what they bring to the table. And kind of also into Pokemon because, of course, they had to drop a big expansion pass here. But as always, we do a little icebreaker here with what we've played in gaming this week. So, Joey, do you remember what you played this week?
I played a little bit more of Pokemon Sword and Shield, mainly just trying to get a shiny. Unsuccessfully finding any of them.
I was just about to ask, how's that working out for you?
Terrible.
I honestly think your game is bugged if you haven't caught one by now.
No, it's really sad because I'm already like 60 hours in and still in the first area trying to get a shiny.
I think it's bugged, dude. Like, you should have caught one by now.
I think it's just because I don't actually sit there and do it in one sitting.
Yeah.
I do it in an hour and then I get off, and then I do it another hour and then I get off.
But didn't you say you kept track of how many times you've fought the sheep?
Well, it gives you a tracker up to 99 or 999.
And what is your tracker?
Well, it's past 1,000 for 5 Pokemon in the first area.
Yeah, I think it's broken.
Probably.
It's broken. But anyways, we'll get back to Pokemon in a bit. In that sad story.
You're probably shiny. You're probably like shiny locked.
He's shiny like the one person that wants.
I was so close to actually trying to do the shiny starters. You know how you right before you pick the Pokemon, you pick it,
soft reset,
and soft reset. And then I did that for a little bit, and then I made them. I actually searched and made sure, and they said specifically the starters and legendaries are shiny locked. I'm like, oh fuck. So I wasted I don't know how long, an hour there.
Oh, you're wasting a lot of time, but I digress. Andrew, what have you been playing this week?
I haven't been playing games at all this week. I've been working
on.
Yeah, I've been working on learning Python. So that's been all my time going, and then I've been going to bed a lot earlier. So also start a new job. So
gotcha.
Not really much time to play games.
No, that's fair. A lot of people are probably listening like, who has time?
Teenagers.
Pretty much. And we're way past that point, so we're screwed. Yeah, no, for me, I think I've only played Destiny once this week or twice with the last word, so I was having a lot of fun with that. Finally got the damn gun. And then I played Star Wars one time. That was pretty much it. I played my one match of Rocket League to keep my champion status. Woohoo. And that was pretty much it, because the rest of the time was spent working. It sucks. We even worked today.
I did buy Jedi. I just haven't touched it yet.
Nah, you told me, you bastard.
It's okay. I bought Kingdom Hearts 3 and it's still unwrapping.
That's true, and that's because he's a super fan of Kingdom Hearts and he still hasn't played it.
Yeah.
Well,
I even beat the game.
Kingdom Hearts are one of my favorite games, the very first two. I just didn't really bother playing the third one because it's been so long, I guess.
You know what confuses me is that it's set up for the rest of the series, and it's just this big one that took so long, and then we're gonna wait for another 5 or 6 games, and I'm just oh my god. So many. Are we going to be 50 by the time it comes out? Jeez.
We'll be 50 and they'll be finished with the first arc.
The first arc. It better be at least, was it VR by then? Jesus. But okay. I digress. Our old ages. Let's kind of move on there because, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, they've done some stuff with it or older games like Spyro, Jak and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot. They even did Bandicoot Racing recently, which remakes, remastered. What kind of makes these games worth it? And I'm actually surprised they did Bandicoot Racing. It's been a long time. Them. I think technically it's a remaster, right? They didn't remake anything specific, maybe a map or two, but even with that, I think it was just remastered. They're still doing Final Fantasy VII, which that one I'm really excited for. Technically, I'd consider that a remake because they're
no, that's a remake because it's completely different
engine
combat.
Yeah, that one I'm excited for. But I guess the question is what really is there besides nostalgia for some of these?
I guess some people will play it if they never able to finish a game. Because when you're younger, you probably won't be able to finish a game if it's too hard. You might give up easier when you're younger, and then now you're older, you might want to go back and actually have that determination to actually finish a game that you couldn't finish when you were younger. And it could be like you'd never finish that game and you want to go back to play that game, but you no longer have the console.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, sometimes when it comes down to, because I've bought some remastered ones, like I've played, like Sly Cooper collection, things like that, for the newer gen consoles, and it's just, I think it gives me the excuse to play them again on a nicer, quality. So for me, I know they definitely get me on nostalgia sometimes, and I think it's more rare for us to see remakes.
Yeah, so like for me, is when I bought the Jack and Daxter collection. I beat in the first game. I 100% that first game when I was younger, but I never beat in Jack 2 until I got the collection again, because I got up to a point in the game where you have to play as Dexter and he's controlling a missile. You have to navigate that missile through the water and you have to collect these things to cool down the missile. And when I was younger, that was like super, super hard. And what happened was my cousins came over one day and I wasn't there, and they deleted that save.
Oof.
So I lost like I was like, what, I don't care. I'm not gonna play this game all over again just to get up to that point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and so whenever I was replaying it, I was able to finish the game fully.
Mm-hmm. No, completely understand that. Yeah, no, for me it's. Wasn't Jack and Dexter 2 like one of the ones they considered like the hardest on some part? Like it was like one of the hardest difficulties in something, I want to say.
In something like in the level or what?
Yeah, I want to say like, because like they even posted it like as one of the hardest like levels in like the past decade or something, and they had Jack and Dexter 2 for something.
It's most likely that missile thing, because like because guiding that missile is like really, really hard. Yeah, because you have to avoid like a lot of terrain, a lot of stuff that can blow with the missile. And actually like controlling it is like hard. It's kind of like old. It's kind of like like driving cars in Grand Theft Auto, because some you can drive pretty easily, and some have you can't like.
Some are shit.
Yeah, some like have shit control. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's Jack and Dexter 2. There's something on it that like it got commended for its hardness or something.
Yeah, that was hard, and then some other stuff in the game was kind of hard, but it's not too hard.
Yeah, I have to look it up to be sure. But yeah, that was definitely Jack and Dexter 2.
Even controlling the cameras, like getting used to like moving the cameras in like those games, it's kind of difficult.
Yeah,
it wasn't take controls, was it?
Take controls? What do you mean?
So he's saying like you move all with one, but you have to use the camera for the other one, so you're using two joysticks to. If that makes sense. Like,
No, wasn't it like the left joystick is basically you moving the camera, and if you move to the right, your character slowly turns right?
No, isn't it the opposite, where your left stick is completely you as like a statue, but you're only going forward, back, left, right, and then you're using the camera, but it's kind of more of an. I think that's what taking controls are. I mean, we have the internet here. We could always check.
But no.
I mean, for
the camera will readjust itself, but in Jack and Dexter, I believe if you walk towards the camera, you can continue walking towards the camera. But you don't have to necessarily always have to like move the camera to like move the direction you're going.
No, I just
No, I was right. I looked it up real quick. So taking controls refers to a movement style in third person, where the character, not the camera, is used as a point of reference when using the control to move a given direction. Yeah. So yeah, you're doing it like that. But back to the remaster and remake. So, but on that, like, technically it's not a remake or anything like that, but you played it because it's a fun game and it gave you the excuse to play it again.
I mean, I guess you can call it a remake or remastered. It's most likely a remaster than anything.
Yeah. Just like the Sly Cooper, like they didn't add anything that I remember, and it's just better shading and stuff like that for the new console. It was just an excuse to play it. So I mean, it's pretty much nostalgia for the most part. Or it gives, like you said, somebody the excuse to play it on a newer console. If it, because I'm sure like if they're not typically always full price or anything like that, so it gives somebody the excuse to play it.
Well, some are.
Yeah, some are. But actually, now that I think about it, I was like, I'm trying to think of how many things are actually remakes, right? Like Final Fantasy being one of them. Like how
Pokemon
many?
Let's Go put Pikachu and Eevee.
Was it a remake?
Mm-hmm. No, it was a remake because it was a whole
Gen 1.
Let's Go.
It was
Wait, you consider that a remake though?
Yeah, it's the same story, same concept of everything. It's just slightly torqued.
yeah, instead of like the traditional battle of wild encounters, you captured them.
Also, it was like the same map essentially.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess so. I didn't even think about it that way, but
Because the story hasn't the story changed slightly, but it's still like the same thing. It's like, all right, you start off in Palatown, then you go into the next town to go fight Brock, and then you go to the next one and fight Misty.
Okay. No, I didn't even think about it really. I guess that makes sense.
Like it's not like
Oh.
you can't go from a different location to another location.
Okay. Here's a question, because you really like Mass Effect. If they ever remake any of those games, would you play it? Like
If they redid Andromeda, yeah.
only that one?
Well, no,
Not even if they like remake
Well, no,
one?
but like you redid like completely, like
Yeah.
change like the whole thing. Because a remake is just they just make the game for be able
Well,
to play.
I'd
I'll
say remake.
like, if they remaster the first 3, then I'll be fine.
Nah, it's
But if they
completely
somehow-
remake. Completely remake.
Then I'll be fine either way.
You think?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
because I like those games enough. Well, I like enough for me to like sit through and play it again.
I think it'd be tough, honestly.
to remake them, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
if
why
they-
it's very surprising that they did 7, because a lot of people love 7 for Final Fantasy. That's why when they did it, it was very shocking. But they even announced that they were going to change the story, and I was like,
But like in other words, like
shocking.
5 years ago, roughly, I actually sat there and played 1. Well, I bought 2, loved 2, and I went back to 1.
Well, 1 is... See, this is my thing. I think 1 is an okay game. Like, to me, it is a B game. Like,
Yeah,
that,
but you can
or a
tell
double A
the miscoming, like not miscomings, but like you can tell what's like what improved after the first.
oh, no, sure, completely.
So
But
like
no,
from
I'm just saying from that, like, 2 is amazing.
yeah.
Like, 2 is probably the best in the series.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like going from 2 to go back to 1 was really bad.
Yeah. No.
I sat there and played it because I liked 2 enough,
To
and
go
I
back
played
and
the
play it.
first one to go back to 2 again, and I played 2 again.
I can't do it. It's like it's actually really hard for me in Dragon Age 2, because like the same thing, completely different game from 1 to 2, and then from 2 to 3, also completely different game. But I mean, we played it a number of times.
Yeah.
No, but despite that, like, if I was to go to somebody and be like, "Hey, play 3 first," you'd never go play 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like, we only do it because it's nostalgia.
And
So,
in our 24-hour
In our 24-hour
That
challenges.
or if you really cared about like what happened.
Well, but
Is it-
it's really hard for somebody that like
Yeah, but,
plays the new ones to be like, "Hey, let me go
especially-
back."
Especially in the third one, it's like, all right, here's this character. I'm like, well, no, who the hell is Ashley? I don't know who Ashley is.
Yeah.
Or like the other person that everybody killed. I don't know who.
Well, okay,
the-
but on that though, you do have the backstory to go back and check though, because like they did the comic for Mass Effect and like they kind of led up to the points there.
But I mean, like, who does that? Like, who buys a video game and then let me go buy the comic to figure out what
Oh no,
happened?
no. They offered it when you got to 3. They offered that comic to lead into. You don't remember?
No.
Yeah, they did that.
Because I didn't buy it at launch. I
mean-
bought it like a year later.
Because they changed the consoles. So when they changed the consoles, they were like, "Hey, if you don't have the input or the memory to transfer the game, do this webcomic and take all your choices and bring it into the game." That's how they did it. Kind of similar to Dragon Age, what they did it with the Keep. So with that, because like I knew somebody that played just Dragon Age Inquisition and did the Keep, and like they saw all the decisions they had to make for the other 2, and they're like, "Oh, I never need to go back to play it because I already made all the
Yeah,
decisions."
but you wouldn't know what happened either way because like I did the same thing. And I didn't know.
Well, no, sure. I mean, of course, there's always more detail and everything going back to play. I'm just saying it's really hard for somebody to be like, "Hey, these amazing graphics and stuff." I mean, maybe not Mass Effect, because Mass Effect 2 will still look great. I mean, that I don't think it was.
Mass Effect 2 and 3 were like looks very similar.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a big dichotomy change there. But for Dragon Age, hell yeah, it's a complete change from 2 to 3. So like, I completely understand nobody wanting to go back and play 1 where you're like getting stuck trying to use swords. You
No,
know.
I think you tried telling
Yeah.
like I tried playing it. You guys told me to play it, and I didn't like it, so I just stopped.
Yeah, no, it's really hard if you didn't play it when it came out.
Yeah,
you know,
it's hard to like compare like a game that came out. What that came out 2012,
Yeah.
2011, and you're used to playing games now. It's like hard going back to like an older title.
Yeah,
But
just
yeah,
like
but you play Dragon Age 1 for the story, not so much for the combat. Like combat is fun, but it is like, a dated combat system. And then you play Dragon Age 2 for the combat.
exactly.
That's very little for the story.
Yeah.
And then you play Dragon Age 3, just play Dragon Age 3.
Yeah, for both. I mean, because
Yeah.
it did a good mixture of both, and that's why I got Game of the Year. Actually, I think Dragon Age Origins got Game of the Year too. But I mean, that was a long time ago. It was like
Yeah.
2004. So I mean,
Yeah, like in Dragon Age 1, your character doesn't have a voice actor.
yeah,
You go through voice selections, but that's just for like general like I got
Yeah.
hit,
Grunts.
or like
Yeah.
grunts or taunts or I don't know. I forgot what else had.
yeah, and like it's discouraging.
Yeah, because in that day you go to like that one meeting, and it's like it's like a whole debate thing about I forgot who it was. There's a whole about debate thing, and it's like, what say you, Grey Warden? It's this whole like very important thing. Your character's there, looking still, mouth not moving, and then you select your option, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, you see me like Pokemon game then.
No, well, I mean, yes, but even worse because you had this
Yeah.
huge cinematic. Like Pokemon didn't have that.
I mean, like in Pokemon, no one else talked either.
Yeah.
Like no one had voice. It was
Yeah.
just
True.
text. And Dragon Age, everyone,
Everybody talked to you and you never said anything.
yeah, everyone was able to had a voice actor. It's just that your character doesn't
not.
have a voice actor say what they want to say. Like how like in Fallout 4, you choose something, your character will say something.
Mhm.
But other than that, it's like no.
And here's a question now, since we're on that. Would you consider it a remake if they didn't change anything about the story, right? But they
Mhm.
changed the combat. They changed, of course, like the way it looked. Maybe expanded on the areas, but the story was exactly the same. Would you
Remake.
call it a remake? Okay. So in that scenario, I think they should do like Mass Effect and Origins. To me, I'd buy it again.
A remake, like
in
remake-
that capacity. Don't
so
screw with the
like,
story.
so like keep story same in or like say Dragon Age Origins,
Mhm.
but change it so where your voice actor or your character has a voice actor and the combat is somewhat if
Wouldn't
not
it change the
similar
dialogue?
to 2 3. It wouldn't
Yeah.
change dialogue, no.
Well, 'cause, like-
it only change the dialogue for what your character says. And it doesn't have to change the whole thing what he said. It can say word for word of what the dialogue option that you select.
Oh, okay.
Like that would be the cheap and fastest way, or probably not cheap because you still have to input the audio files for like your
Yeah.
and change like the statements for the
The
dialogue.
responses and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, and then you might have to do an engine change so it'll have the combat, but it'll make it a lot better.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll make it more, I guess, enjoyable for other people like nowadays who want to play it.
Yeah, because then it would be easier to recommend it to somebody since it's updated and be
Mhm.
like, "Hey, Joey, go play Dragon Age 1," and you wouldn't have this huge disconnect from that and Inquisition, because they're just really far apart. Like they came out, what was it like, freaking a decade apart from each other. So it's just with that. So like for a
Yeah.
remake for that, totally down for it. Remaking Mass Effect 1, completely cool for that. As long as you don't mess with the story, because like I don't think
Yeah.
you need to.
So Dragon Age Inquisition released in November 18th, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, Dragon Age Origins release date was
2000
November 3rd, 2009.
for number 1.
Yeah, for the first one.
Really, I thought it was like 2005 or something. It was 2009.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
maybe
guess
I was
we're
off.
off by like a few years. Well, I said 2011, 2012, but if that makes sense. I remember playing it when I was a sophomore. Dating my age, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess. But dang, I thought it was farther back. I don't know. Okay, well maybe not. It was only
5 years.
5 years apart. So wait, where's the next Dragon Age game? Damn it! I'm still waiting for
I know
that.
we're here going. No, didn't Bioware close down? Isn't Bioware gone?
No.
No, not yet. The whole speculation is
There's
if they
there was a
blow
branch
this, that they're done.
There was a branch of Bioware that closed down, yes. But
Yeah.
the main branch of Bioware is still open.
Yeah, no, but the speculation is if they blow Dragon Age 4, they're done. Like, there's no coming back from it. Even though I
You know
like
how they come back for it? Remake Dragon Age 1 up to date.
cash grab. No, the
about-
sad part is like I would be totally down for it. Like if they redid
hell
the
yeah.
comeback in it, I would do it
See,
today.
I wonder
I would
if-
be like 24 hours. Let's do it.
Yeah, I wonder if that will make our 24-hour run a lot like
Quicker?
faster. Yeah, or quicker.
Yeah, because we had to pause every time we made a spell.
Yeah.
Because we had to do Tempest, Earthquake, Blizzard, and Fireball at the same time.
Yeah.
Or Flame Inferno. I forgot what the thing was.
I think it was just called Inferno. And I think all that did was just make the terrain like fire.
I'm pretty sure the load screens is gonna be super fast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that also depends on what machine you're running it on. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, but if it's like a modern console or something, it's not like
yeah. But
I don't
like,
think
it also
that-
depends like on the drive it's on. Like if it's on like a hard drive, it'll run.
Mhm.
It also depends on the speeds.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think we had load problems on that one. I don't,
No, not really.
don't think
Maybe.
Just because everything was kind of dated.
well, because it's like somebody did like say the same thing for like Resident Evil. Like the load screens used to be like super horrible.
For which one?
Resident Evil 2 and 1.
Oh, yeah. It was back
And
then
then,
when
like,
it was
now,
barely
like,
on like a...
Was it just a door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you see the door and it's like loading and then it finally opens eventually.
Yeah.
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 No, that makes sense because it was back on like the freaking old... what are they called? Not Max. What are they called? The old tower ones. I can't remember what the hell they're called, but...
The
Um,
old tower ones.
Yeah, those old computers. You remember they were by Apple. They were...
The Max?
are they Mac?
Yeah. They're,
They're still
They're
called
still-
Mac.
So
they're
basically, it
still
was
Mac.
just the monitor, but like it was a huge backing, like a TV.
Oh,
It
yeah,
had, like
the-
the blue.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're Max. They're still
Okay.
They're still
Yeah,
iMacs.
but Resident
yeah.
Evil was like on PlayStation.
Number one?
Yeah.
No, it was on PC, wasn't it?
No, it was on PlayStation.
Man,
well, I
the-
know for sure it was on PlayStation because that's where I saw it.
Well, I know they redid it, but no. It was on computer. Let's check here. I'm gonna check the shenanigans.
So Resident Evil 2 released January 21st, 1998.
Yeah, I don't think it was on PlayStation, dude. Let's see, because Resident Evil number 1 was 96. Windows, Sega,
Yes.
Saturn.
So it was for PC.
Okay, yeah, I was right.
But they ported it over to PlayStation.
Oh yeah, no. I'm sure they did. They even put it on the DS, but no. It was just more of a question. Like when it originally came out, it was on.
Because my experience, like very young, I'm not able to play that game was on PlayStation.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, no, I was sure that they ported it over because like freaking Sony and all those bastards, they had that monopoly for a little bit on that. Because I don't think Resident Evil transferred over until like 4. I don't think. Yeah, I
What do you
don't
mean by transfer over?
like doing. Just other companies in general. Like I think it was purely like Sony and everything that's stationed out of Japan. I think, if I recall, but yeah, I don't know. I know it was on Windows too, but
We were too young at that time.
yeah, I was trying to remember back. I mean, we have Wikipedia, but I'm gonna spend all the time trying to research Resident Evil. But anyways, back to the original point. I mean, well, Resident Evil's a good one too. Like they've remade it and done different things with it. Like that's considered a good thing. I don't know. It's just I just think it depends. I don't know. I think I fall more on the side as like I'd rather see something remaked than something remastered. Because there's so many things remastered. Like they did Doom 1, 2, and 3 remastered, right? And like those are fun, but like ultimately the only reason I got them is because like I'm not gonna go get the old 1 megabyte file for Doom and play it on my PC, kind of thing.
What
Like-
would you count the Halo Master Chief Collection?
That's a good question because it has
1, 2, and 3,
yeah.
and they're adding Reach to it.
Yeah, I would think in that scenario, I think it's a remastered. I think technically it's a remastered because you would they didn't change anything story wise or combat wise. They changed, of course,
Just the graphics.
the graphics and they changed up like the artwork and stuff. But
Then that's a remastered.
yeah, that's what I could. Because we were talking about Halo.
But I
Master
think it's
Chief
actually
Collection.
very neat that you can actually still put the old graphics.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like you can switch the
Like
graphics.
switch between.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's just like, all right, playing Halo 1 is like,
it looks good too.
Yeah, it looks good with the old like graphics too, which is
Yeah.
even weird.
Yeah. So on that, like, yeah, I think I fall more in the line of like I want to play stuff that's remaked, honestly, because like for stuff like Resident Evil or, you know, for Final Fantasy 7, it seems like they have good ideas to change up a little bit of the stuff, and it makes me want to play it again. So essentially, with that, I'm totally down for that as opposed to remastered because, yeah, typically they're not really changing much. And it is purely nostalgia, I think. It's completely nostalgia. Yeah. But on that, let's see here. We have...
so what if they make... So what do you think will happen if they did a remake, but it had DLC?
No. I don't think they'd do it.
I mean, they did that for Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, for what, new drivers?
No, they had that. No. Like the Crash Bandicoot game, they added one level.
And you have to buy it?
Yeah. Well, if you didn't pre-order it eventually, like you had to buy it,
okay.
from my understanding.
Well, how much is it, I guess?
I think it was like $5.
Because that's how much a pre-order is $5.
How much is the game? I guess
the new Crash Bandicoot game?
Yeah.
I guess it would 30 or 40.
I guess it would depend. I don't know. That seems like a cash grab kind of thing. I mean, like, I don't think a whole lot of resources would have went into making the level.
No, that level, like, I don't remember why it was so special or something, but I know they added it because I think it was just like one of those region locks, I guess.
Yeah, no, I guess it would come down to what exactly, like, I don't think a whole lot of resources went into making it, so like, why charge it?
The game is like $32.
And then if you add another 37, 40.
That was like a $40 game.
I don't think I like that though. I don't think I like the idea of you having to pay for DLC.
Yeah, but what if it's like, say,
it had to be huge. Like if you're playing like Dragon Age Origins, like here's a whole new character with a whole new quest line and something like that.
So what if they remastered, say back to Dragon Age Origins, they remastered Dragon Age Origins, but they didn't remaster DLC, and then they did, like, if Origins did, the remaster did well, then they remastered the DLC and then made you pay for the DLC. Then would you?
Well, that's an interesting discussion. Because some of them are lengthy. I guess if they did it as a bundle for all of them, I'd be more interested, as opposed to doing them separately. Because, like, I think if you're going out of your way to redo it all the way, you should already have the systems in place to redo it to the rest of the game, for the DLC stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess if they bundled it, I'd be like more for it then, as opposed to.
So what if they bundle it? Say they did the remaster of Dragon Age Origins and it's $40, and then depending on what DLC costs, it's DLC cost. But if they did like a bundle of, say, like Origins and the, like,
because they had a lot,
quote unquote, like season pass, say.
It had a lot of DLC too. Like there was Witch Hunt, the one where you go to be the Warden Commander. I'm blanking on what it's called.
It's like Return. Isn't it Return?
Something
to.
Well, there's Return to Ostagar too.
Yeah.
There's that. No, there's a lot. There's like 6 or 7. Like, and there's small ones too. There's small ones for the DLC characters, and there's the bigger ones, and which is like a whole new map and everything like that. So I guess okay. So on that, I guess, because like I'm trying to remember, like when they came out, they were not super expensive. Like the biggest one was, that one where you return as Warden Commander, Awakening. It was Awakening.
So there's Warden's Keep, Stone Prisoner, Return to Ostagar, Feast of the Gifts, Feast of Pranks,
Witch Hunt,
the Golem of Amgarak. Liliana Song, the Darkspawn Chronicles. You play at a Darkspawn.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that was fun.
The Tale of Arzamar, and then you had Awakening.
Okay, so you had 10 DLC there, and I'd say like 5 of them, half of them were, actually big ones. Ooh, that's tough. I mean, $20 seems like a good price, but like I wouldn't be surprised if they raised it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like I just think of it in terms of like if you're gonna pay $60, right? You already made it to where the original price of the game was. So like I hate going over that, but like I guess you could see it because there's so much DLC. But I guess there would be a little wiggle room. But I mean, I'd probably be the guy that would do it.
Yeah.
That.
Like honestly, if they remade Dragon Age, I'll buy it again.
Yeah. Totally. No, I'm probably right there with you. That's the whole thing. But I mean, On that, yeah, no, totally remakes and stuff like that.
Mass Effect. Let's go.
If they redo Mass Effect 1, I don't think they'll ever redo 2 or 3.
Why not? Like that's one. Like I want a trilogy of it.
Yeah, but I think if they because the thing is,
so like Mass Effect 1 was the story was good, but the combat was bad, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah. So what
The
if they
driving was also bad.
Yeah.
Like I hated
a lot of the
part where you
gameplay
had to, like-
features were wonky.
So what if they redid the combat system to match like 2 and 3?
Oh yeah, no, completely. No, what I was gonna tell him because he wants the whole trilogy. I think
Uh-huh.
the question would be whether or not you would want to mess with 2.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying, bless you.
That's right.
I'm just saying more as a company. Would you want to mess with 2? Because if you do 3, that means you have to do 2 over again. But I don't
mean,
think
they can polish it up. They don't have to. Like they really need to polish 1 for sure, but like they can polish the second one, and the third one.
I just don't think they'd do it.
Like they both need. Like they can make it look better.
Oh, sure, for sure. But I'm just saying, like
But they
there
don't
are.
have to change anything else about it.
I think the overhaul would need to be done more for 1, and probably 3. But I don't think they would touch 2. I don't know, because people consider that like the end all be all of games. They're like, I know it's like really high up there on a lot of people's lists for like games of the past 20 years. This is number 2, but I don't know. I think it would depend. I mean, I'd be all for it. You know, I'd play them again regardless. But I think as a company, it'd be really difficult for you to be like, hey, let's redo the trilogy when we have this amazing one in the middle. You know, because it's in the middle. I think it's really difficult. But that's just me. You're like, no, whatever.
Well, I mean, what about my like Master Chief, like collection?
Halo?
Yeah, everybody loves 2.
Yeah, 2's a weird one. But like, they haven't redid it. They haven't remade 3 either.
Yeah, they
So-
did. All 3 already. Well, I mean, like they remastered all of them.
Yeah. But to the earlier point though, is like, yeah, sure, you remaster them, but like 1 needs a combat overhaul to match up with the other 2. Is what I'm saying. To make it worth me having to play it again.
If they just
That's my
streamline
point.
it. Well, no, I just say like they just streamline it where like everything's constant, like the battle system, everything like that. Not the battle system, but like the way the guns, how they feel and everything, or like the tank, not the tank controls, but like how everybody moves. As long as it's consistent, and they leave everything else the same, I think it's fine.
No, I agree with you. But if you're gonna, I'm just saying, like, if you had to overhaul 1 just to meet up with it, like, I feel like you'd have to do something to 2 and 3, because people had problems with 3 too. I mean, I really liked it. I think, of course, the ending was kind of wonky a little bit at the end, but I don't know. I just think if you were to do it, you would have to go all in or not do it at all. That's just me. Because like I wouldn't go out of my way to play him again just for updated graphics. That's just me. And the same thing for Dragon Age. Like, that's just me. I don't know. But for that though, if they did DLC, we'll jump into the next topic here because we'll probably reminiscing about BioWare games forever until they make another great one.
Yeah.
Will be like DLC for Pokemon. Like that was surprising that they decided to do that, and I wonder if they knew that going into it that they were going to do DLC.
Yeah. I mean, they probably had a plan for it already.
That's why there's no national Pokédex.
That's what everybody thinks. I mean, it's a fairly well thought out idea there. If they didn't, cause
Honestly, but I think the Switch. Correct me if I'm wrong.
lends it to it.
No, but I think the Switch is the first console that'll be able to support DLC.
Oh no, that's what I mean. Like the Switch lends itself to being able to do that.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Because I don't think you would have been able to do it with like the 3DS. Like maybe, but I don't know. Like
Oh,
maybe,
you know
maybe,
what? You could do it on the 3DS because I
Yeah.
did that for Fire Emblem.
Oh,
I
okay.
added DLC, but it's a lot more difficult. Like trying to do it that way.
I think
than
it was
is on
more
the
like
Switch.
Niantic not wanting to do that
Maybe it may be that the company had just never done it before.
because they didn't. They specifically didn't want to put a Pokemon game on the Switch when it first came out.
Yeah. Maybe we were discussed about that. But I'm saying I'm not talking about specific
No, he's
Pokemon.
talking
I
about
mean, I'm
hardware.
talking about the ease of adding DLC between the Switch and like the 3DS.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's easier for
Yeah.
sure because it was a hassle doing it through the 3DS. And on that because you had short storage and all that stuff like you had to
Mhm.
worry about.
Yeah, but now with like even with the 3DS, you can have an SD card, but on some devices, they can only read up to a specific amount of storage from an SD card.
Yeah.
Whereas the Switch, I think it could read, I want to say 128 gigs, but it could be like even more.
I think I have 120, but no, I think
But
you're completely right.
yeah,
That
I
the
mean-
Switch lends itself to being able to do it easier than like the 3DS did. Because I think technically you could put an SD in the 3DS. I think there was a slot for it, but
Yeah, you could do an SD card for the 3DS.
yeah.
So it says theoretically, the Nintendo Switch can take and use a micro SD card up to 2 terabytes, but
Dang.
yeah, but although 256 gigabyte cards are the largest size currently on the market.
No, and it wouldn't fit.
What?
It doesn't fit, or it does fit?
It fits, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it says theoretically, the Switch can read and use a 2 terabyte SD card,
Okay.
but currently only 256 gigabyte cards are the largest size being produced for a micro SD card.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got to know. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Because mine, I think I have 120, but that sounds about right. With that, the DLC for Pokemon, I think you're right. I think essentially it just made it easier to do it with the Switch.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be easier to do DLC for the Switch because it has like the store. And I feel like the store is more easier to navigate on the Switch than it was like on the 3DS.
For sure, the UI stuff is a lot easier on the Switch and everything like that.
Yeah, but on the Switch you can also change your theme.
Yeah.
Which I really miss. I want them to. I mean, not the Switch. The 3DS.
Can't you can switch the theme on the Switch, can't you?
No, just 2 themes, white and black.
Oh, I thought you could get more.
Is it themes or modes like dark mode and?
No, like you know how like changing the backgrounds, changing the buttons of the icons and all that. Like that was very popular in the 3DS.
Yeah.
And while the Switch hasn't really supported that, I kind of just want to change like the backgrounds and everything, instead of having just like a black background.
Yeah. No, I get you.
That'd
be pretty nice to have like.
I thought you
a
could
theme.
do it, honestly.
I don't know. I never tried because I never like really cared too much about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
Because
I never thought about it.
how often am I just like navigating the the home screen?
Yeah, no, not for very long. But I mean, to his point, I mean, I thought they did it, but regardless, the Nintendo Switch like definitely lends itself to being able to do those things easier. And I do think, I mean, we don't know for sure, but I would say I would put money on it that they probably knew going into it, since it came out so quickly, that they were gonna do it.
Yeah, I believe they knew. Like everything's gonna have a roadmap.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily like just because I have a roadmap doesn't mean it has to be like publicly known roadmap.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, and in that though, I mean, I kind of like the idea of being able to do that if they continue to do it. I'd rather it not be a one-time thing.
I was gonna say,
what?
do you like the idea that depending on the base game that you got, the expansion is different for each game? Like there's different rivals, there's different Pokemon that you have to get specifically for the expansion for that specific Pokemon or for that specific game.
Oh, wait. Okay, so take it back. So you're saying you have to get that specific expansion for Sword, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, you need to get 2 expansions basically to get the whole like.
Oh, well, that doesn't bother me because you already had that problem getting the games on the outset. You had to get both different games. I mean,
that's what I do. So like I pay $60 for each of them.
So on that, I think it sucks for people that are collectionists.
Yeah, because then I got to pay another $60 for both.
Yeah, so when they did the math, it was what, $180 for everything? For both expansions, both games, for you to catch all the Pokemon, it was $180, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think because both expansions were $30 each, both games were $60 each.
Well, if you buy the expansion, would it like register on both of them? That's what I'm weird.
I don't think so. I think if they technically are for each individual one,
no, I think it registers on it should. It should register on account that you have the expansion, and if you have both games, you should be able to,
So I don't have to buy 2 expansions.
No,
because I was thinking I had to buy 2 expansions.
I don't think.
No,
you should.
I think you do. I mean, I'd have to read it, but I think you do. Because I don't think what's the word? because they already did it, I wouldn't put it past them. We could look it up, but I wouldn't put it past them to already be like, hey, you have to get this for sword, or hey, you need to get this for shield.
Sealed deals. I think that's kind of dumb.
Oh no, I completely agree with you. I think
because
it's dumb.
they said the storyline, the rivals, and the Pokemon are going to be different in each one.
How
in the
will-
expansion.
How will storyline change depending on what game you have? Because both games have the same storyline.
I think this is more like the
I think it's just with
characters that you
characters.
run. Yeah.
I think, but
or the gyms or something.
then that shouldn't matter because you just get the DLC, and then the DLC will just register, hey, you're playing Shield, run this storyline, or not run this storyline, but generate this gym with this gym leader, generate this rival, generate these Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean I would agree with you completely. However, I think they're two separate. I think they totally are gonna screw people over, and like because they already do that with the games as it is. I was like, why wouldn't you do it twice? It's basically double dipping. In that,
I mean, they do it in the games.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They
Instead
already.
of just making one Pokemon game, it's like, oh, let's make two.
No, I agree with you completely. That's what I'm saying. I bet you it is two separate expansions for different ones. With that though, I mean, I'm only gonna buy one, but that's to someone that is not a collectionist. Like, I'm gonna get the one expansion to play it.
Well, you only have one Pokemon, right? You
Yeah.
just have the Sword and Shield, or a Sword.
Yeah, that's right. But that's to me, right? I'm not a collectionist, so like I do it just to play the game, try out some of the new Pokemon, mostly use old starters and beat the game. Finito, finished, and then I move on. But I agree to people that are collectionists. Like that really sucks because if you have to buy both expansions, you're gonna look at another $60, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Because I think they did do it that way. I think.
I don't think they said for sure, right?
I think they announced. I mean, we'd have to look it up honestly, but
They announced the Game Pass and they announced the 2 DLCs, but they never.
But they
Like,
never
'cause-
specified that you need to buy one expansion for one game and then the
Yeah.
other one for the
okay,
other.
so they didn't
Yeah.
specify.
But honestly, I feel like it's not like that
I hope not,
because that's I feel like that's a bad thing.
but it still won't stop people though.
Yeah.
Joey's still gonna buy both.
I'm gonna buy both.
No.
No, if I have
Oh,
to, I'm gonna
okay.
buy both.
Yeah. No.
Buy both and still be on Route 1.
I was like, let me get the expansion. I'm still on Route 1 trying to get that Wooloo shiny.
Terrible, dude. No, I mean, but that proves my point though. Is like it's not for me. That's like this is not catering to someone like me who's not a collectionist. Like I'm doing it just to play more story a little bit and beat the game. Like this is totally towards Joey's crowd of people in which they already bought both games.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna buy both expansions.
Yeah, and they probably have like 2 Switches too.
Yeah.
So I was like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like to me, it's whatever. I would agree. I would scream it from the mountaintops that sucks, but it's not gonna change anything because they're still gonna get their money.
I do kind of miss how there's like no longer like DLC for games. Like, it kind of just been replaced with microtransactions.
Well,
I mean, that's more for like multiplayer games, though.
yeah. I mean, there's still
Yeah,
stuff.
but I mean, like Call of Duty is a multiplayer game, and then they stacked, like DLC maps on top of like the microtransactions.
Oh, did they?
Well,
I
no,
haven't-
DLC is free now, technically. For Call of Duty,
Okay.
like the map part of it is free.
Uh huh.
Because the whole
Yeah.
gripe of like what Call of Duty, like the whole problem was, is like when people, there wasn't enough people that bought the DLC, then
Right.
that for that specific pool of maps, it was hard to play those specific maps because there wasn't that many people that actually had that
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty, especially the long running, like towards the end of the cycle of the game.
Yeah.
Because you get everybody playing at the very beginning and then it slowly starts to die off.
Yeah.
But then you didn't have that many people that bought the DLC. True, like most of the diehards are going to still keep on playing it, but it's just like there's less pool of people that are playing on a DLC map, especially towards the end of the life cycle of the game.
Yeah. No,
so
I
like
mean,
the whole idea is like, well, let's make the maps free for everybody, and then just sell.
The like
Well,
in-game-
now for
in-
season pass, now
yeah,
whatever it's called.
Battle Pass season or in
I mean, battle pass, yeah, not season pass.
Battle Pass and customization.
but you're saying you don't like that.
Like he doesn't like it, I guess, in single player games.
Is that what you're saying?
I don't like. Yeah, I just miss how like there was like because you don't see DLCs often. You see, more in-game stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like, it's not even like because for like say like Fortnite for example, they change like every season. Every season has a theme. They change that, but they still have the in-game like you. Their pull is from like the battle pass, and then the item shop. But they do, I guess, like what the Call of Duty way is doing is they get the maps for free or generate everything else for free.
Mm. I mean, I think it depends on the game because, like, I kind of forgot that they did that for Call of Duty, but I like that better, than having to pay. Because what it ended up being is like I didn't buy the maps. That's just what it was. Like they would do 3 or 4 map packs, and I never bought them.
Yeah.
And at least this way, like, if you're making money by doing these microtransactions that don't have any effect on the game whatsoever, I'm completely okay. Just like with Rocket League. Like, I don't need, new cars or anything, but if we're going to have, like, a new map or something, although it actually technically wouldn't change anything because the dimensions are the same, but, like, that kind of thing is, like, because you're missing out, Like, you're playing Call of Duty and you're never going to play on these maps because you didn't buy it. That kind of sucks. But, I could care less about me not having a skin for my gun kind of thing.
I mean, the maps I wouldn't really worry about.
Why?
It's like there's no need to play that.
The new maps?
Like the new maps, like there's always going to be a crowd of people playing on the old maps.
No, sure, but I'm thinking of it in more terms of what you're missing out of as opposed to like what actual like gameplay. Like the maps actually change something because you're on a new map, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a whole new style to play. Because, good God, the maps on Call of Duty, like some of them just really blow.
Yeah.
So yes, new maps are much appreciated, but I'm saying like to people that are like, hey, the new skin or whatever, like that, doesn't bother me to miss out on it or whatever. Like I missed out on the holiday skin. Okay, I'm cool. Kind of thing.
I was gonna say I do feel like there's still DLC in single player games, just not as much prevalent.
Yeah, but there's like what single player games?
Like,
The Witcher 3 had 3 expansions.
Okay,
a long time ago. It came a long
Horizon
time ago.
Zero
Yeah, but
Dawn
I'm
had
saying
2.
now. But like, okay, Horizon was what, last year, year before, 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago. But I was saying you're not seeing a lot of current like single games.
Yeah. No, even Jedi doesn't have any.
Like I know Mario
DLC.
had like Nintendo's going big on their like expansion stuff now.
Yeah.
I think Assassin's Creed had DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Odyssey one. I know God
That
of War
was
did not
years
have
ago.
any.
Horizon Zero Dawn 3 years ago.
I mean, technically, the DLC for Persona 5,
Well, also came out years ago.
but it's a new game essentially that I would be paying for.
Oh, okay. Just wait. The only way to get it is to buy the new game.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same game, I think, from my understanding. Just adding a new character and a new dungeon.
Oh my god, that bothers me so much. No, I mean I agree with Adrian. Like, it's because there's no single player games, and like the one I'm playing right now doesn't have any DLC. Like,
It just came out.
I know, but like this, I'm just saying like, unless they do it way down the line or whatever. But I don't think they're going to do DLC for it either. I don't think it's that type of game. But
Yeah.
like The Witcher, that came out years ago. What was it, 2013? Like, it was a long time ago. I could be wrong, but I think it was 2013. I've been
May 19th, 2015.
see, I've been shortchanging it by like 2 years every time. Okay, fine. 2015.
Would you count Warframe as expansion DLC?
No, because you don't have to buy it. It gets released. Like they're expanding the Warframe universe, yeah, but it's not like I have to buy a separate thing.
So you think of that more like a live service MMO kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like
That's like Neverwinter. You never pay for the expansions. It's free. You just have to pay for.
I think there's some
skins.
that you do have to pay,
Really?
but like base game's free, and then I think there's some stuff, other extra stuff that's free. But there are
I think material stuff, yeah, but like for the expansion itself, I don't think you do. I
Yeah.
have to go back to check, but I know for like WoW you do. You have
Yeah,
to
but
pay every
like-
time.
Vermintide.
Vermintide has an expansion, yeah, but it's not a single player game.
Well, that's true, but they. I
I
was
mean,
gonna say,
it has an option, but like it's not a single player game.
Yeah, basically games that are like really highly.
But then
touted
wouldn't
typically
you
don't.
count like Halo? Because you can say like it's an option to play as a single player, but it's an option to play as 2 players or 3 players.
I mean, so it's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the storyline.
storyline.
Yeah, but Halo doesn't have any DLC.
Yeah, but when you play Halo with 2 players, you still have Master Chief. Like having 2 players doesn't change the story. It changes like the ease of it, probably, but it's not gonna change.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything.
But
story-wise.
that's what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't say that for Vermintide exactly.
Oh, like it's like Halo, where like even having these players doesn't change the outcome.
Yeah.
Well, the Vermintide thing is
Because
like
you would just have computers other than that.
no, but the Vermintide story is like you are a group of people that goes.
Yeah,
and
but I'm
solves
saying, but
this.
like if you play by yourself, you just have like 3 random computers playing
Mhm.
with you.
Yeah,
So it's like playing like Last of Us, I guess. Or not Last of Us, like Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
Like
Yeah.
if you can play by yourself, but then you can play with co-op or eventually
Mhm.
online.
Yeah, but that's how the games are. It's like you are a group playing the story. It's not a fully single player game.
Then Dragon Age.
Dragon Age is a single player game.
I know, but I'm saying like you're playing as a group of people. The only difference is that there's no people controlling the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was trying to think. I was like,
No, like
I think it depends.
because you're bringing up Halo
Mm-hmm.
story wise is Master
single-
Chief
yeah.
Master Chief single player. Yes, you can do co-op campaign with another player, but it's still single player. That's a still single player like environment.
Mm-hmm.
On that,
Left
though,
4 Dead.
on that real quick, Dragon Age. They announced it before. Well, when they announced it, like that with that teaser or whatever, they said they were going to do it co-op.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be much of a question of whether or not they can actually pull that off. Because I don't think I've ever had a game like that where you could do co-op. Like, whereas a single player game, RPG, with those many systems in place, and you can
Yeah.
play it twice.
And Left 4 Dead is more of a group game. Get out of this area. Like it's not a single storyline. You
Mhm.
know, it's not like, hey, we're in the hospital. Let's get out the hospital. Okay, now we're at this. I think it's just like
Well, the
it's-
second one was more like that though.
yeah, but like the
'Cause,
first
like,
one.
You can play like the stages and they all go follow back to each other.
Mm-hmm. But that game is drawn to be a group game. Like the or like say campaign is more. It's a group, not
Mm-hmm.
you know. It's not this exact single person.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying with like Dragon Age. If they actually do it, that would be interesting.
Because you can be like,
'Cause I don't think they've ever done it before.
yeah, it could be like, oh, you're both Grey Wardens. Like, cool, do it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you take a role of somebody else as a co-op person.
Yeah.
Like you take a role of a party member that's, you know, in the story wise, it's meant to be there with the Grey Warden or with that person.
But you
or
know
whatever.
what? If you do it that way, though, then technically you wouldn't affect the outcome of the game, though,
yeah,
right?
you don't.
You would just be along for the ride.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a single player game. Like you don't affect outcome. It's like different from multiplayer. Multiplayer is just multiplayer.
No, I'm agreeing with you completely. I'm just saying, like, I didn't even think about it if you did it that way. I was thinking, like, if they said co-op, you could both affect the world, but
No.
I guess the cop-out would be doing that.
Yeah. No, you won't be affecting it.
Probably
That's
not.
not story.
No, you're
wise.
probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right. That'd be cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
You jack up somebody else's game. You jump in there and be like, oh, killed the princess. Y'all fucked.
Dark Souls.
Yeah?
Invade.
Oh, my God. Don't even get me started.
Invade. Kill. Jester.
Freaking Dark Souls. Oh, my God. I hated those invaders. But, no, I mean, overall, like, I like the idea of DLC as long as you're adding something to it. Just like with Pokemon. I'm okay with it. I don't really like the price point.
Well, it sounds like
But-
they're adding a lot to it.
Yeah, it's 200 new Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well, it's a new story element. It's a new area.
Mm-hmm.
It's new cosmetics for like your characters and all that.
Yeah.
I think if they pre-order it, you actually get like a Pikachu costume or something like that.
That got
You
everybody.
get a gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's okay. Like, I don't like the price point. I think it's
And
expensive
there's
as
new
hell.
Pokemon too.
But I do like the idea of them adding to it because I think Pokemon is short and them adding stuff to it makes it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Destiny. Like, I
What
mean,
do
you
you
can
have?
you can do the single player in Destiny in like a few hours. But like, you know, if you didn't have the extra content, what is it worth?
Since you beat the game, do you feel like by not having these like 2 expansions in the game, do you feel like they just like stopped, not stopped completing the game, but like they made the game and then took part of it out, sold the game, and then put these 2 as DLCs?
Oh, I mean, it's well, I mean, we were kind of talking about it before because like we both thought that they did this purposefully. Now, I mean, I guess it's more of a dick move if they did it and they took a piece out and were like, you know, that'd be
because there's new Pokemon and new expansions.
Yeah.
They created new they can within the new manufacturer is like X amount of old Pokemon, but also X amount of a new Pokemon that they created.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends because like when we were talking about it, I was saying that like I think they had a roadmap and they were like, hey, we're gonna release DLC for it. But what you're saying is if they already did it and took it out, because the game kind of feels incomplete, and then added it later, that's kind of dick.
Well, I haven't played it, so like that's what I'm
No, it feels kind of incomplete.
What
Pokemon at the end of it, because there's no, you know, national Pokedex. There's no extra area to go to, so it kind of feels incomplete a tad.
Yeah. But he was saying about Destiny, how they did it.
Oh no! He was just talking about Pokemon. I just added Pokemon. Destiny because I like them adding things constantly. They did not have that roadmap like completely set out. Like they had an idea, like, hey, we're gonna release something every so often, but they are constantly changing it multiple times. Because like when they did the first DLC, like I bet you they didn't plan on doing these smaller events like this quickly for seasons and things like that. I bet you that wasn't even on the table. But them doing, what is it, Shadowkeep? I bet you they changed the roadmap after that because we were on year 2?
3?
Year 2 or 3? By then, because so much time has passed, they're like, then they changed the
Yeah, because it was a base game plus Forsaken, and that was a year, and then this is Shadowkeep, 3 years.
Yeah. So by then, I'm pretty sure they were like, oh no, let's change this completely. Well, I think it was also
because they got out of it with Activision.
Yeah,
and they became their own thing.
Sure, that could have lent itself to it, but I do also think that like a lot of fan people went into it. Now the question is whether or not Pokemon did that, or they did it knowing beforehand, which is, I don't know. It's harder to tell. I know Destiny didn't do it on purpose that way because they were totally reactive to what people were saying and doing everything like that. Completely reactive. Pokemon, I don't know. They might have planned it way ahead of time, and if they did, they were dicks. We'll see. I don't know. Regardless, I'm gonna play it.
Do you remember Destiny 1? Sorry.
Well, it'd be a dick move if what Pokemon did is there's like, here's 200 more Pokemon for like the old Pokemon, like no new Pokemon creators. That'll be like more infuriating. But what about Destiny?
No, Destiny 1. Do you remember like their plan was to try to do a raid out like every expansion? They did that for a second, and they're like, no, we can't do this.
Yeah.
Because it's like
it's hard. Yeah. Like all the thought process of coming up with the raid and like the raid puzzles, like I'm pretty sure it's like mentally draining.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's also a task like they set themselves on a short time limit. Like, it's a hell of a crunch to do that.
Yeah, like League of Legends, what they did back in season 3, and they're like, hey, we're gonna release a new champion every month. Or is it? I was like about every month, every 4 weeks, and they did, which was pretty cool. Like increase the champion pool, but like there's no like you release a new champion, that champion might be broken. And they do patches, and by doing patches, they make other champions broken or not broken. But that's in general that what happens. But like it's hard to do like a maintenance of balance and stuff.
I think it would even be harder than that because when you said that, I was thinking of like fighting games, right? In which they add characters like every month or whatever. Like Smash Bros, they did one every month. But I would think for League of Legends, it'd be so much harder because there's so much more, minutia to it. But I think of like Smash, and I was like, oh, sure, there's a lot of minutia, but like I think it's something like that, and they did it that quickly. I just wonder how much thought process would go into something for like a fighting game.
And not only that, like within League of Legends, there's some like it was back then where people were like, they like the lore and stuff of like the League of Legends universe of Runeterra,
and somebody had to write all that stuff up.
Yeah, it's hard. Like you create a new character, right? And then while developing this new character champion, you also develop like the lore and background of them as well.
You have to twine it with everybody else.
Yeah, like if it's something like if you release like these two characters and they're brother and sisters, okay, like well, how do they fit? Where do they fit?
And they didn't have a roadmap. Like, you don't think they had a roadmap like when they did it?
I think they had.
That sounds really difficult to be doing that quickly.
Because they have a character or a champion like creation team, and I guess it's just more like them getting in communication with like I guess like story or whatever. I don't know who does like the lore and stuff, but I guess it's more hard for them because it's not like a roadmap. You know, it's not like hey you have a creation team and like say like one person can be working on 2 new characters or so, and develop them. And not only you have to develop the character, you got to come up with a passive and 4 abilities that they can use that fits like their scheme.
Yeah, and that also fits in a game with other mechanics.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Them doing it that quickly that sounds freaking impossible. I would feel like they should have had a roadmap vaguely. You know, I would think that.
I mean, then again, this is what the season 3 was their 3rd year release. You know, so season 1 they had like.
I think they were just
and 30 years, and they're still messing with the game, trying to find I guess I want to say more or less a standardized way of doing things.
Well, no, it's probably just like a couple things. Like I think from my understanding, it's just like the optimistic of like being able to introduce new characters is try to keep the player base that's there and try to grow it at the same time as fast as they can.
Yeah, and another thing that you said, like when we brought about Call of Duty earlier about like the whole map things, like you have a lot of people in the beginning. And then you're really seeing all the stuff later, and then there's still that small people who are still playing, or the small people who are like the competitive or like tryhards or like the diehards of the game.
Yeah,
but still buy it.
No, I mean we're kind of going into territory of what makes games still relevant. That was my other topic.
We're at an hour. I guess what makes games still relevant. I guess it depends on either the multiplayer aspect, the competitive aspect, and another one which is like a niche one will be like the speedrunning community aspect. Like if it's like
it's tough. I think it's a combination, but speedrunning is interesting because other people still do Dark Souls speedruns.
Yeah, they do it. Some people do Dark Souls speedruns and they go out to like the GDQ. They do like the charity thing.
Yeah.
And
which raises a lot of money, by the way.
Yeah, it does raise a lot of money, and like I don't know, like speedrunning is it's fun to watch.
Yeah,
like you find out like cool stuff, like in Jack 2, you go through an area to go to like the Coliseum, but what I found out through a speedrun is you just fly over because like the wall's going so high, so you can get a hovercraft and fly over that wall, just cut into that map, and you save like like it's not a lot of time, but you save time by just without going through like the predefined way.
Well, it's like the guy that did like the Super Mario speedrun where he like flips and like he does the map in like 5 seconds because he found the right spot to flip to whatever, and like it's just like crazy when you think about it. Like he found the one spot, like I don't know.
Yeah, or Spyro, because like the end of the game of Spyro is in the beginning. It's just underneath that beginning map, and what he does is like I forgot he gained speed or something, and he clips through that one specific area and gets like the final item, and then beats the game. And that was it. Yeah,
no, because the Super Mario one, like I think you just need to get like 1 star, and like from there it's like, boop, 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 boop. Like you go all the way to the top of the stairs. Like there's a glitch to do it or something like that, and they did it, and they finished it like really quickly.
Yeah, and then there are like Pokemon speedruns where it's like 80% or like 100%.
Jeez, yeah, no, they're crazy. I mean, for me, I think it depends because, well, I mean, we were talking about single players earlier, but essentially with that, like, there's not so many, but what makes the game, last long? It's really difficult, especially for those because, I mean, I've played, I'm probably in the minority, but I played Dragon Age like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But it's because it has a lot of content, but overall, like, there's no multiplayer aspect to it. There's no...
But, like, there's a lot of content and there are a lot of things to do. So, say, like, you pick a warrior class, right? You start off as nobility.
Right.
You pick a mage class. You're in the wizard thing. You pick, I guess, this one depends on race. You pick, like, being a dwarf. You start in, like, the dwarven caves. And then you have, like, like with those kind of games, you have the different kind of runs. You have like the, the good run, the neutral run, or like the pure evil run.
Yeah. But on that, because like, does it not make the game like, because it's not super gameplay wise, it's not like super amazing,
Yeah.
But like, I think it's something like Destiny, where the gameplay it's solid. I'm not gonna say it's like the best shooter of all time or anything like that. But what keeps me playing it is the content. Like, they keep updating it to make me want to do something, even though some things work better than others. But then for something like, Rocket League, like, it's still the exact same game.
Yeah, it's still a game. Like, there's other content like Rumble or like where it's like Ice, where you play like the ice puck.
Yeah.
But what keeps it there is like the type of game it is. It's like there's a
Because it's quick.
Yeah, it's quick, and then it is fun, and it is competitive. You want to do competitive.
So, but for that, like you said, I think for that it's completely the competitive aspect that makes me keep playing it. Like, I don't think it's really the content. Like, sure, there's some parts of it that are fun, but I play it because it's competitive.
No, I say it's because it's competitive. Because most single player games, I don't like playing it over again.
Right, and that's fair. A lot of people don't. Like, I think it's very rare for me to do it. Like, I can count on my hand or both hands probably how many games that are single player that I've played multiple times.
Like, I played the first I played Jack and Dexter multiple times. It's just a platformer. It's just a fun platformer.
Yeah,
and then that's what it kind of replayability.
But is that the gameplay for you? It's the gameplay then,
or
right?
was it at a time when multiplayer wasn't a thing yet?
No, I mean that was back in PlayStation 2. Yeah. So multiplayer wasn't really a thing.
But I'm saying, like, would you have played that game? Like, let's say that game came out now with like all the space of the whole multiplayer, and let's say like you didn't have that nostalgia, like brand new.
Yeah.
Would you keep on playing that game when you have everything else to play?
No.
Yeah. Because like I just feel like the only reason why like I played games multiple times like when I was younger was just mainly Pokemon, just because like I had nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's a good thought though, because like, well, I don't know. I think I'd still play Dragon Age 1,000 times. But
no, but I'm saying like of course, it's not nostalgia. I think it's just like you played that game so much as a kid.
Yeah, but so you can also do Skyrim, but that's like a different kind of game. That's you have different races, different ways of doing things.
Yeah, but for me, like I don't I love that game. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm not gonna spend $10 every generation of a game that comes out, or not a game, but like console, just to play that game over again.
Oh, that's what we were talking about earlier with remasters.
That was remastered, yeah. But you're saying like, if the game came out today,
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't get Skyrim?
I still like
I'd probably still get it.
Yeah, I'll get it for the whole like it's an Elder Scrolls game, but replayability like now, I probably won't play it. I probably just do the initial run. That's it. Maybe some DLC, but like now I'm more. It goes clear like what we talked about earlier. It's like now it's like a multiplayer phase where we're like I'm so used to playing with somebody now that I don't really like enjoying like playing like single player games like as much anymore.
Well, because I was gonna say like the reason why I loved Mass Effect 3 also is just because of the multiplayer. I think the multiplayer like was amazing, but for some reason I couldn't get into it in like Andromeda. I hated Andromeda like with a passion.
No, I agree with you. Like whenever we did the demo for Mass Effect 3, like that's the only time I played it. Like I liked the multiplayer. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
like even though it was just like waves that constantly came in, it's just like, all right, I know what's gonna happen. I know how tough it's gonna be towards the end. We all need to survive. Your character leveled up.
I mean, but to your point, I didn't even think about it that way. Like, I like, well, say Sly Cooper because I love those games. Say Sly Cooper came out now, and I never played it before. Yeah, I don't think I would buy it.
Yeah, you probably won't buy it. You're like, okay, this is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what is it to me to keep playing, right? And it's not a huge thing like Star Wars or Skyrim. Because like,
or you probably buy it once, play it, and then that's it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it'd be tough.
And then like another thing is like if you're like a streamer, right? You'll buy like a new game, play it, and you get the content out of it, and that's pretty much it. You're not gonna go back for like a replayability.
Yeah, I think it'd be tough. Like, because I've played this guy's Sly Cooper games many times over, but like,
but then again, like that's back when multiplayer wasn't as big, and there was like no like ease of communication between us for online.
Also,
Yeah.
you were a kid and you probably didn't have like $60 to go buy another game.
Also true.
And we didn't have like job. It's like, oh hey, Christmas, I kind of want this. Oh hey, it's my birthday. Can you give me this?
Yeah.
Or like I scrounge up money.
Or free time, also.
Yeah, that's another thing.
We don't have free time as it is. Like back then, like I'd play a game and be like, oh, even because like I think back to 360 in like middle school, right? We'd play Halo 3 or whatever. Be like, okay, I had time with this, and then we got off or whatever. Like, hey, I still got time to play the single player game, and I play it. So I mean, but now like I get home, I was like, okay, I have enough time to play Destiny and like one match of Rocket League or whatever we're doing for a little bit, and be like, now I gotta go to bed because there's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah,
That's why I don't get to play Star Wars that often because I just don't have time. It's too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and like that's another reason thing. I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3 yet. It's just like I rather play something with
how
y'all.
How long has it been since it came?
So
March last year.
Yeah, it's been like 2-3 years. Yeah.
You haven't found any time whatsoever for like
No,
5 minutes of
I'll,
gameplay.
I'll play with y'all. Somebody wants to play a game, I play with y'all, or I go do something, and then that's it. I
just say it's a long period of time.
Yeah, and another thing, like I've played games on PC. Yeah, I know I get it. It's on purpose. Like I finally bought it like a few months ago, and it's still unwrapping.
Let's say it's a long period of time, but no, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, like when it first came out, I didn't have a PS4.
Oh, you just bought it without the PS4?
No, like I bought it after I got a PS4.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
But like when it released, I didn't have a PS4.
So
No, I got you now. I thought you said you bought it and you didn't have a PlayStation.
Oh, like those people that were buying like Legend of Zelda without a Switch
my
yet.
god, those.
So like, so it was like double the amount like Zelda games that were out or like that were bought, or double the amount that the Switches were bought.
Yeah.
So it's just like, all right,
insane.
it's like people buying two Zeldas, or people are buying Zelda before they get the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was
it was
insane.
like crazy.
That was insane. But it was a good game.
They're probably like, hey, I'm gonna buy 2 copies. Resell one because like you might go like out of stock for a while, and then you can sell that one for like more the amount.
No, but it was easier
That's
buying
probably true.
Zelda than buying a Switch.
Oh yeah, I remember now because like Switch was like so like sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
I remember-
I had to like bribe a Target person to get it.
No, when I
Not really,
remember
but-
when I got it, this is like I saw like a tweet. It's like GameStop has a new shipment of Switches. So I literally went to
Yeah, I remember
GameStop
that.
and then like give me it. Like I went to one. They're like, we don't have in one, but this store has a lot. I'm like, all right, I'm on my way, and I drove there and I got it.
No, for me, like Target didn't have any, right? And I couldn't find them anywhere. And so like the person told me, he's like, hey, call me on Monday morning when the shipment arrives and we may have one. So I called them on my way to work and they were like, we have 3. And I'm like, I was like, hold one for me. And like, we'll try, sir. But like they had just opened too.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll try, but like, we only have 3. And then I was like, put my shit like to turn around my car. I was on Culebra, which was very dangerous in the morning, by the way. So I did that and I called my job for UPS. And I was like, I'm going to be late by like an hour. Like, this is an emergency. I'll tell you about it later. Like, and I went to go get
Did
it.
you actually tell him?
Huh? Oh, I told him later. He laughs about it. He was cool. He was cool with it. Cause he was a gamer too. So I was all right. But yeah, drove over there and I was the first one there and it ended up being like, there was only 3. So it was me and one other dude behind me bought the other 2. And that was it.
Did I tell you about the Pokemon 3DS that I got? Of like red and blue, right? I think it's the 20th anniversary one.
Oh yeah.
I remember the story very well.
I'm like, I got there 3 hours before.
Dude, that was insane.
In the rain. I'm like standing in the like.
You deserve that shit. Like,
I'm all standing next to the door, and then the people were just waiting in their cars. And I'm like, no, I'm getting this because it was the last one.
yeah, you deserve that shit.
And I made sure I got it, and I got it.
Yeah, because they didn't have any other ones, right?
No, because it was somebody pre-ordered it,
Uh-huh.
and they just never paid for it or picked it up.
Uh-huh.
So like I went to the GameStop. I'm like, hey, do you guys still have? Like I wasn't really like hoping for anything, but I was just like, yeah, I'll try. I got the money, and he's like, yeah, we have one person that hasn't picked it up. If they don't pick it up by Monday, you can, as long as you're here, you can get it. I'm like, all right. So like on Monday, I woke up at like 5 in the morning, got up at 6, sat it there like next to the door, and I was just sitting there like playing my DS at the time. and I'm just like waiting in the rain. It was like started raining, so I had to stand up because like I had to get as close to the building as possible so the rain wouldn't like hit me, but it was still touching my legs. So like to my knees, I was still getting wet.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like standing there, and I'm waiting, and then the guy like that worked at GameStop, he comes in, opens the door, and like really like shuts it real quick because there's like 4 other cars over there.
Yeah, as soon as he went there, all the people got out of the cars, right?
Yeah, as soon as he got there, like everybody got in the car, stood right behind me, and then as soon as he let us in, I went directly to the counter. I'm like, I'm here for that Pokemon DS. Like, let's go.
Yeah. No, you deserve that shit. You got there really early. Because like, what time they open at 9?
10 or 11, right?
Oh, it was even later. Fuck, I was thinking it was 9. Damn, you were there for a long time, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hands down, you deserve that shit. Like nobody was gonna get in the way of that.
Well, because when I went, somebody else asked, like literally like 10 minutes after me, because I was like, I'll look around. Mm-hmm. I'm like, shit, this is gonna be like very popular because he's telling the exact same thing to the other person. I'm like, nah, I gotta make sure I get it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool DS. You got it. You got it. Oh man, but yeah, no, I mean, a lot of those factors kind of go into it with the replayability of games. Like, I think you're right that we're in a generation now, or we're in a style now, I guess, for gaming that like, for us, like we play stuff that we play together.
Well, competitiveness.
And that too. I mean, that's just not really competitive. We play that shit just for fun.
But I'm saying like the most popular game would be like Fortnite.
No. But I'm just saying for.
I mean, but even Fortnite, like I just play Rumble. I just play it just for that. Like I don't have as much fun playing like the regular battle royale way as play Rumble because you get this die respawn. It's just a team deathmatch. That's all it is.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. No, there's multiple factors for different things. Like I mean, we talked about us not having time, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and then I think it all just comes down to the person.
Yeah, no, of course. I just think for us, where we're at right now, it comes down to we play stuff that we play together. Multiplayer plays into that.
Until we win the lottery and just
until we win the lottery and we have all the free time in the world, then it's fair game. Because like I think about it, like when Dragon Age 4 actually comes out, or say like The Last of Us 2, like I'm just not gonna sleep because that's the only way I'm gonna have time to play that game.
You're gonna call in one day.
Probably.
I'll be an hour late.
Yes. Yeah. I'll never forget that.
Plus, let me tell you.
My God, that'd be terrible. But no, I think we covered a good range of topics here today.
Okay.
Well, I didn't even think we'll get to the third one, but probably just because we didn't get distracted by anime this week.
Well, I think because it integrates with the.
Yeah,
everything flowed pretty well.
Yeah, everything flowed pretty well. So hope you guys enjoyed it this week. You guys and gals, you dudes and dudettes. You
dudes and lady dudes.
The lady dudes.
Dudes and dudettes.
Dudes and dudettes,
That's
lady dudes.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, no, I remember it now. I was going to make a vegan joke, but let's not go there. All right, we'll see you guys next week with some new topics and some new shenanigans that we'll get into. This has been the D2G podcast. See you guys later.